If you're letting your fear get the better of you in dating, it's like a basketball player unable to get on the court and even play the game. In a recent poll of all my YouTube users, 41% of you said that the number one reason that you're having trouble in dating is because you're afraid to approach women. The second highest is that conversations go nowhere. Today in this video, I'm going to give you 9 tips to get over your fear of approaching, meeting, finding, and interacting with the women that you actually find attractive. Before I give you the 9 solutions, you have to look at where the fear is coming from. As a coach, I can tell you that generally it comes from these 2 sources. The first one is there's some type of residual trauma in the past that is holding the guy back from overcoming his anxiety. This trauma can be related to self-worth, pride, denial, and anger. In my one-on-one sessions, I do what I can to remove those barriers in the guy's inner game. However, I'm not a trained therapist, and a great therapist can really help you dive deep down, go back to the original source of that trauma, and help you release the pent-up emotions or the residual emotions that are still there that are holding you back. In this area, which I have a lot of experience in because of my own trauma, talk therapy helped a little bit, but it became limiting, and I had to seek other forms of therapy. If this is what's stopping you, I encourage you to take the time to figure out and resolve the issue, because once you do, it will not only help you with your dating life, it will help you in all areas of your life. What you have to be careful of is if you're one of those guys, or perhaps you were stuck with the idea that because of your trauma, you can't move forward, when in fact it's just an excuse, okay? I don't know you, but I know that if you're watching this video, deep down you know, am I using it as an excuse or is it really trauma that's holding you back, okay? If you feel real trauma holding you back, it literally is stored in the energy field of your body and you feel it. Every time you try to start the car engine, the car just, it just doesn't start, right? And it takes you a couple of times to get past that barrier. If you're just afraid and you're letting the excuses get the best of you, then you're using that as an excuse. You're rationalizing your fear as an excuse that you had trauma that's stopping you. And only you know the truth as to what that is. The most common reason that guys are afraid to approach girls on the street or afraid to make that first move is usually related to how our brains are wired. Now, I talked about this in another video, how we used to live in tribal societies of around 50 people. So when we want to approach that one girl, our minds literally think it's life or death. But that part of the limbic system of the old evolutionary reptilian brain just doesn't apply to today's world anymore. In any major city over 100,000 people, there's so many options that you're never really gonna run out of girls to talk to. That evolutionary switch can be overcome. It's not held back by massive trauma from the past. It's literally something that you can override with practice. And like I said in all my other videos, dating is a skill set. And when you take your ego away from this skill that you're learning, dating skills, and you don't take anything personally, you start seeing the patterns of what actually works and what actually gives you consistency and predictability in getting the result that you want. The first tip I have for you is that you must have a strong enough reason to be doing this. When you have a strong enough reason, all the excuses, the rationalizations, the things that you come up with that are barriers start to disappear because you just literally plow through it. I can't show you what your reason is, but I can share with you what mine was. I was 23, I was a virgin, and I was mad at the world. I was bullied in high school for not getting the girl. And in my mind, I had created this circuitry, this rationale that if I didn't get the girl, I wasn't cool. And if I wasn't cool, I was in pain. And so this obsession drove me for a really, really long time. After I resolved my trauma, after one of my biggest breakups, I still had that drive, but my reason became something different. I wanted to have the freedom to pick the right partner so that I can have longevity with my kids, my future kids. I can have longevity with my family. I can have longevity with this one person that I knew I didn't settle for. And I would be reminded every day when I look at other people's relationships, when I look at my aunt, when I look at my mom and dad, how they fight and how they are. And I constantly remind myself that I don't want that to be my future. And that memory, that future projection became a driving force for me to find the right girl, to use the skills that I acquired to properly vet out the type of girl that I really wanted. Tip number 2 is when you have that drive, when you find your reason, whatever your reason might be. I have clients who just want to stop feeling lonely, right? That could be your drive. I have clients who, made a lot of money, but they don't want to use their money to trade that for love. They want to acquire the skill set to properly earn the love that they deserve. I have clients who've been beat up and bullied, and all they want is to feel like they're cool again, okay? Whatever your reason is, you gotta grasp it, you gotta hold it close to your heart, and you gotta embrace what that makes you. A lot of times, it's not the girl that makes us happy. It's the guy that we become on this journey that gives us pride and makes us feel fulfilled as far as how far we've come. If you talk to a lot of like millionaires, if you're lucky enough to have millionaire friends, when you talk to them, yes, the money gives them a level of comfort, but really it's the person that they became overcoming those obstacles to get to that point. Which leads me to my second tip, which is it is a numbers game to some degree. I had this fantasy that if I talk to 3 girls and all 3 of them reject me, that I'm somehow a worthless human being. That's just not true. If you ever watch like a good salesperson, even a famous salesperson, if you ever watch someone who takes a shot playing sports, if you ever watch someone trying something new, they fail many times. When I started to get a lot of momentum, was in my mind, I was like, okay, today I'm gonna go out to the mall. And I understand that if I talk to 5 people, it's possible that those 5 girls might not like me back, but I'm here for the skill set. I also know that human beings, our brains are wired that when you have like rejection, it feels kind of like weird because you're not used to the rejection, but it's just our brains playing tricks on us back in 50 people societies. When I go to the mall and I talk to people, all I need is that one person to give me the sale. All I need is that one girl to give me something, some kind of interaction. And then it kind of breaks through this like really invisible veil or visible wall that makes you think that everyone's just distant and alone. But in fact, the truth is we're all connected. And all you need is that one person to give you a little bit of momentum. And every time I get that one interaction where the girl's like, yeah, I'll talk to you, then it fuels me for the next one. Because in my mind, I'm reinforcing the idea that it's okay to talk to people and then there are girls who will like me back. I'm always thinking, right? All I need is one girl. All I need is one girl to say hello. All I need is one girl to introduce me to her friends. All I need is one girl to give me some type of social proof in that environment. All I need is one girl to go home with me or to go on a date with me, right? How many girlfriends can you be with at the same time? All you need is one. And I keep remembering that over and over again. And I ask you, what is the point of rejection in the grand scheme of things? Let's say you get rejected by 10 girls in a row. So what? Are you gonna see them again? No, they're walking on the street. Who cares? But did you learn something? Did you learn something from those interactions that you can write down? Or perhaps you recorded what you said and you're playing it back like, oh, I see the pattern now. Edison didn't invent the light bulb overnight. He failed over 10,000 times, but with every failure, he was learning what not to do. He was getting data points. So he turned his rejections into bricks and he built his house of knowledge. Tip number 3 is when you break this bubble, right? There's this kind of shattering reality that happens. Sometimes you're with a friend who's fearless. Sometimes you're with a coach or you're with someone that changes the energy field and you suddenly see them go up to this girl, and even if they get rejected, the energy in which they went up to that girl is like, hey, I want your attention. I command your attention. Even if you're gonna reject me, I want you to reject me with your full attention. And that pierces through the social veil that a lot of people have, which we're just day walking zombies, right? We're going through our cycles, we're going to jobs we hate, we're coming back home. People are going through this little cycle where they're not even that happy and you're breaking through that. And all you need sometimes is that one person or one coach to show you exactly what that feels like when you're standing next to them. The 4th tip is take your ego out of the equation. So I think of it as like a learning tennis analogy. If someone sucked at tennis, are you gonna, think that they're a bad person or that they're worthless? Of course not. If a baby falls down and can't walk, are you gonna be like, this baby is useless, it can't walk? Of course not. Dating is a skill set. Like any skill set, it takes time to learn. And like any skill set, you should not attach your self-worth and your ego to your ability to execute the skill set. The girl rejecting you, she's not really rejecting you as a person. She's rejecting that technique or how she felt in that interaction based on her attraction cycle. It has nothing to do with you as a person. Does your mom somehow think you're less of a person, that she loves you less because some girl rejected you? Tip number 5, success leaves clues. Look at the coach's results. Look at their Instagram, look at their pictures, ask them for their field reports. Back in the day, my mentors wrote over 10,000 field reports, and when I saw them in person, I was able to reaffirm how they thought in their writing with how they looked in real life. These guys were what we call congruent. They live their words, they live their truth. Success leaves clues, and when you see these little breadcrumbs that lead a trail to, the person that's successful, what you want to do is you want to find out what they're doing so you can emulate and copy what already works. And when you do this, you save yourself years of trial and error if you were to try to do it by yourself. Trust me, I did it by myself for many years. I wasted a lot of time, and only until I found my mentors was I able to shortcut that time by an exponential amount. Tip number 6 I already talked about, which is all you need is that one, okay? Keep thinking, I need the next green light. I need one girl to talk to me and say hello. I need one girl's number to feel the momentum. I need to introduce my one friend to that girl one time for it to go well. I only need one girlfriend. The rule of one. All you need is one. This is not a game where you need to score 100 points to win the basketball game. This is a game where if you win one time, even if you get rejected 10,000 times, that one time is enough to satisfy all your needs. This is a game of one. Tip number 7, stop the blame game. When I stopped blaming women for my issues, when I stopped blaming other guys and how easy they had it, when I stopped blaming the fact that I was a minority, when I stopped blaming my parents for not teaching me this stuff, when I stopped putting the onus, the responsibility on someone else other than myself, that's when I started to take into consideration that it is my responsibility, even if people treat me badly, to control my social interactions and move them forward in a way that benefits me and the people that I love close to me. Tip number 8, stop the excuses. Go approach that girl, I would tell my client. Oh no, she's on her phone, or she probably has a boyfriend, or she's got earphones on, or I just, my breath smells. They come up with everything. You gotta recognize when your mind is throwing out excuses, right? And when you look past the excuses, deep down it's like fear or like anxiety or like feeling not good enough, right? And you gotta blow past those excuses and just attain that new EXP, that reference experience, because those reference experiences will start informing your brain that you are a different type of dude, you're a different type of person. Tip number 9 is focus on the type of person you're becoming rather than getting the girl. Process over outcome. What type of guy am I becoming if I go out every weekend and I try to talk to 10 people to improve my conversation skills? What type of guy am I becoming when I'm forcing myself to overcome my fear every weekend? How is that impacting my job when I'm in meetings? How is that impacting me as a person in my personal development? How is that impacting my communication skills? How is this skill set going to last me for the rest of my life? I would tell you, every single dating coach that I know very intimately, they have told me that yes, the girls are nice, it's kind of a bonus, but really the real reward in this game is the guy you had to become to get the girl that you wanted. Because the women will not make you happy, but your progression and your growth will, at least in my opinion. It will. Those are my 9 tips for getting over your approach anxiety. I hope I was able to help you guys in the poll. And if you need help with this, if you want to fast track your way to do it, if you want a predictable system to get there, I suggest you check out the links below. My entry-level course, The First Day Formula, has in-field breakdowns, the exact lines to use from the moment you meet her and match with her to the moment she asks you if she's your girlfriend, and it's super affordable. I would say try out The First Day Formula if you even half like my videos, because it's super inexpensive and it's got over 7 hours of content. And I priced it not to make money. I priced it so that guys that really want to make a change in their lives, it's a chance for you to practice making a little bit of an investment in yourself, okay? All the greatest minds in the world, Warren Buffett, Tony Robbins, J.K. Rowling, they have one thing in common. It's, when you have the money, when you have the tools, take that and invest. Instead of splurging it on something that would be gone in a day, focus on investing knowledge in yourself. I hope I was able to serve you. My name is Giovanni. I'll see you in the next one.